Doing a low poly model, you will not need to worry about normals. I know how I was telling you earlier on that the back of a face is always transparent, and it is. Let me just turn on backface culling. Oh, that's the problem. Ooh, this is what happens when you edge model, by the way. Sometimes you'll flip the normals accidentally. And there's a couple ways to fix this. So, we just found a problem where we're going to educate people. And this might seem like a simple problem if you're already an artist, but one way you can fix this, and let's see if this works. Set to face. No, it didn't work. Conform. Oh, conform fixed it. And then to fix the shading area, go to normals. Now set to face. And then we're going to soften edge again. There we go. And now it should smooth correctly. There we go. So if normals basically tell light how it's going to be shaded, or what direction the face is pointed. And let me turn them on real quick so you guys can see what a normal is, and so in case you forgot from the video and or I didn't define it very well, you can see all these little hairs coming out. That's the face normal. Where it's pointing out, that's positive. That's where the shader is going to be applied to, and that's how we're going to see color. Everything else is invisible. So if we actually reverse the normals, and we'll go ahead and do that, you'll see that they are going to be faced the other way. Where's reverse? There we go. And if we did not have backface culling on, we would never notice that. It would just have this weird shading problem. And would that cause a problem for us with a no light situation with the texture on it? No. Like I said, our texture is going to be applied to it. But if we're in an engine that doesn't support double-sided materials, like I can't really think of any offhand now because that'd be a while back, but let's say we were in an engine that didn't support double-sided materials, and all a double-sided material does is say apply the shader to the opposite face as well, and that does something. It either makes it assume there's another polygon on the other side that's at zero space with it, or it just applies the shader twice. Either way, it costs more memory and processing power, so it's not really a nice thing you want everything to do, but it's great for hair. That way you don't have transparent hair on one side, and you can use alphas to make really flat, really fantastic looking hair. But let's say our engine didn't support that, and we had these reverse normals here. Well, we would still have this, hollow area in our face, and it would look really bad. And this is a major problem if you're edge modeling a high polygon character, because you might have this all over the place. Luckily, Maya has a tool inside of it to clean up, and it will actually say, hey, select all matching polygons that have, faces with holes, or, non-planar faces, or, lamia faces, or non-manifold geometry, and, basically all bad things. And you can tell it to fix it automatically, which is usually the wrong thing to do, or you can say, highlight it, and then you can just press F and, see where the problem is. I'm not sure if Max has a similar tool, and I totally don't have a clue about Modo or, any of those other packages because I just don't know the interfaces yet. But, if you just keep up and just always now and then, if you just always keep backface culling on, this is never going to be a problem because you're going to notice it the moment it happens. But back to the point, since I got sidetracked there talking about that, we are not going to have to worry about normal so much since our texture is going to be taking up. Since we don't have light, our normal really has little to do with us. As long as we keep the face normal pointed outwards and, we texture everything appropriately, the only thing we're going to be worried about is the silhouette, because otherwise the character is just going to look like this. It's a little sharp up here, so we're probably going to add a try. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like duplicated. Now we're going to have a hole there too, so we'll fix that. The back of the head actually looks as round as we need to, but it's just that area. This is like a flat head. So let's go ahead and fix that, and let's turn off our normal display. Oh, vertices have normals too, but don't worry about that for right now. It's more like, I think it has to do with like vertex painting. And you know what, if we get into environments later, and I might make a small environment just so you guys can check it out. And I totally like animating on top of an environment, like a flat surface that looks realistic, because honestly, it's really weird animating in free space, which is a good game. Anyways, we are going to we'll make a small environment so I can show you that, and I can show you what vertex painting is, and we'll animate on top of that, so it'll be more interesting. Man, I just keep adding to my plate. So, how can we add detail to this? Well, we can go here. We're going to need one here. And we can hide it here. Let's not go to orthographic views. We'll screw something up. Where's our mesh? There he is. Is it still alive? Yeah. There we go. And remember, even though it's wireframe, we're still snapping to it. And in the end, we might not even need that detail because we're going to add hair. That's why I'm not too worried about this area, because we're going to add hair. But this same way I added detail here can come over here. We can just go back here and add another line here or another line here. You know, if you're bald, you will have to do this because you're not going to have hair. Use the tries on the back of your head. The back of your head is your hair for all intents and purposes. And you're going to need that detail because that's how people know you. You don't have the sharp pointed head. You have a nice circular round head, and that looks weird from that angle. Let's see if we can fix it. Average. Nah, we can't really do that. Oh wait, we're gonna have hair. I'm gonna have hair. I don't need to worry about this. Again, I'm getting stuck in the problem where I keep trying to add detail where it's not needed. There. I wish there was like a community buzzer I could put and I could stream this live, and anytime you guys see me doing that, you can just hit the buzzer. That'd be so helpful. It'd be like crowdsourcing an art lead. So, how's everything looking? Now, we can go ahead and start making tries if we wanted to. Just so, because if we don't, then our exporter is going to automatically triangulate, and they might triangulate a different way, which can change your silhouette. For instance, it probably isn't going to make a big difference if I do this. But, oh, actually it did. It made, you know, the jaw come in a little bit tighter. And we don't want that. We do want it to be right there. Because it's nice and smoother. So if we were automatically triangulating, it might do it in a way we don't want. So anytime you know of a way it's going to be triangulated, just go ahead and do it. Like this forehead area, how is it going to be triangulated? Is it going to be triangulated this way, which gives us a pointed, jagged head, or is it going to be this way, which gives us a smoother head? You know, why don't we figure it out? What would Maya do? You know, let's mesh, triangulate. Oh, it gives it the way we want, and that's because it will generally try and go for a smoother triangulation. But sometimes we might want that jagged area, like under the nose. You know, if there was a quad here and there wasn't a line there, it would try and triangulate it, and it might go in a way we do not want. So, let's go ahead and keep that triangle there. Where else can we put one? Again, we're going to want one here, because we want a nice smooth section. And let's see. Here? Is that correct? Yep. There you go. Simple low poly head. Oh. Make sure our normals are correct. Although it doesn't really matter if we soften or harden it, it'll just make it easier for us to realize that, hey, we don't have to worry about that. You know, let's look at the detail that comes from it. Oh, and if we smooth it, how's it look? has bug eye, but that's okay. This is good because we need to know if we were to actually physically smooth this, how's the edge looping flowing? Because a really cool thing is if your entire low poly head is quads and you smooth it, it could actually just create the perfect edge looping you want. And this isn't too far off. It gave us a pretty good edge loop around the eye, around the nose. You just have to create the mouth, and that's pretty easy. If we fix this up beforehand and we got rid of those tri areas, like over here and here, we just made it quads, we'd have a pretty good edge looping for a higher poly head. We'll see how close we can get this and see how many tries we have left over to detail the head and accessories. But for right now, I'm happy with this head, so I'm going to continue. Now for our body.